Welcome, everyone. This is Did You Know? Hidden Command Options in Inventor. I am Jim O'Flaherty, and I began my career in 1980 as a draftsman on the board. I've worked in numerous industries, a few of them listed here, mainly as a contractor. I started on Inventor Release 3. I was also the first commercial implementation of Autodesk Vault Workgroup. I've been on, I'm an Autodesk Inventor Certified Professional, a certified instructor on Inventor, and also an Expert Elite member. I've spoke at Autodesk University since 2015. I am also a speaker mentor 2017 through 2019, and again this year. I'm also known on the discussion groups as the Angry Elf or the Angry Elf's alter ego. My professional life, I am currently the engineering training manager at Material Handling Systems. I was hired on about 4 years ago as their Autodesk licensing CAD support manager. I am currently now training and supporting in excess of 750 users worldwide on all our Autodesk applications, including Inventor, AutoCAD, AutoCAD Electrical, Navisworks, Revit, and Vault, among many others. MHS is the preferred supplier for conveyor systems for Amazon, FedEx, UPS, the Postal Service, Wayfair, and Walmart. Chances are, if you ordered anything online, it traveled on one of our conveyors. And with that, I'll hand off to Radu real quick.
Thank you, Jim. So you see in the picture, I'm the only one sitting there actually with the blue shirt. So that was one of my visits in Manila. Currently, I'm in Portland, in Oregon, but I support training and other things related to Inventor and Vault in many other offices, like in Asia and Singapore, Vietnam, Manila, India. So kind of a very busy schedule at any time of the day and night. Like Jim, I've been teaching and presenting Autodesk University for 3 years, I think. And that's me. So next slide, Jim. Here is me outside whenever I have some time, whenever I find some time to do other things than work. I'm running a lot, like ultra marathons. I like to hike mountains, family, and of course, food and drinks like everyone, I guess. Next one, Jim. Related work, what my company does, which is MyTech or Benson Industries. We do curtain walls and we place them on buildings. It's a very easy process, but could be complicated. These are some projects. You see the Manila Bay, not Manila Bay, Singapore Bay, like in Singapore, one building in New York and the New York Times, and a few out of like hundreds of them. Okay, go next.
And with that, I will take it back from Radu. Thank you, Radu. So most users learn the basic processes of commands and stick with them. But then they fail to realize that a lot of Inventor's commands have hidden or lesser known options that can and will improve your efficiency in modeling and detailing. While this may seem very basic, and Inventor 101 type, this is a Inventor 101 type class, we hope you'll come away learning something new from this class as well. So our class objectives today, number one, what are hidden options and where do I find them? Options for basic commands that'll make them, well, not so basic. How to crop a view other than the default rectangular crop. How to put in ordinate dimensions on a crop view or detail view. The user interface, my home options, assembly options, and analyze interference options. Please note, this year these classes are a lot shorter. They're not the 1 hour long, they're now 30 minutes. There's a lot of information that we're not able to cover live, so please be sure to download the class handout as we go into much further detail, as well as cover other items on this subject. So objective one, what are hidden options and where do I find them? So prior to 2021 release, those on older releases of Inventor, these hidden options are typically found on secondary and tertiary tabs within the pop-up dialog menu. For example, the extrude command looks like this. You got the main menu, and then you got the more tab on there. You'll find some commands that have at least 3 tabs as well. Now for the 2021 release and beyond, the extrude command now looks like this. And notice all your options are now up front and visible. There's no more tabs that you have to click, or nothing's hidden. Everything's right there and ready for you to use. So sure, some of you might say, so what? Good point, and I'm glad you think that way. But while these may seem rather obvious, it has been my experience, while users may know the options are there, they still don't tend to use them, either due to not being familiar with them or knowing what they actually do, or even how to use the options, as well as what I call the comfort factor. Familiarity is comfort. People like to be comfortable, and they tend to stick with what they know. By moving these command options all into the main menu, users should start using these options when needed, as opposed to doing an extra task or a separate command. So the fact is, a lot of users never bother to look beyond that main tab. So let's look at an example here. So you got the basic extrude command. Now, let's say you needed a draft, okay? You could use the taper option, and you can generate that draft to that operation, avoiding having to add another command and feature. Now, again, you know your product better than anybody else does, so this may not apply to you in that certain instance, but then again, it could. So knowing the option is there, it's up to you to use it and utilize it and use it to your advantage. So again, as you can see, you can put that taper on there, and that could act as a draft for that particular feature. So some quick examples, the loft command. So as you can see, you got the loft command and you got the condition tab, which is the second tab over. It will offer a wide variety of results depending on what you select. So, you got a different option here. You play around with it and see what works for what you're trying to design. Again, you know your product better than anybody else. Work smarter, not harder. Some more quick examples on the new menus, the whole command. You got preset options and you got the advanced menu options. The advanced menu option icon is on numerous commands. These options change per command and allow you how you interact with that command. So definitely check into them, see what the options are, and use them or apply them as needed. The fillet command. Although it's located on the main menu of the fillet command, one of the items that users seem to miss the most is the click to add option, as you see circled here. This allows you to literally insert all required fillets in one command for that entire part. Okay. The second tab on your fillet is for variable fillets. So it allows you to do just that. One fillet that has variable radiuses, you can put them all into one command. And then the third, you're allowed to adjust the setbacks for each fillet at their intersection. Objective number 2, advanced view cropping. So if there's one command that users seem to stick with the default setting or simply do not know that it can be done more efficiently, it has to be the view cropping command. Okay, now the question is, that's fine and dandy unless you have an ISO view. Okay, as you can see here, I got an ISO view, and in this first picture, here's your crop window. What if I don't want all this extra info included in here? Okay, unfortunately, using the default, that's all you got to play with. Well, there's a better way of doing it. So step 1, select the ISO or the desired view, make it active, and then press the S key. That will put you into sketch mode for that view, generating a view-based sketch. Step 2, sketch the desired boundary of the crop that needs to be, and it needs to be a closed loop, and constrain it, prevent it from shifting during any kind of edits. Step 3, select the crop view command and then select the sketch. As you see, it's highlighted here. And then step 4, finish the crop command, adjust the line appearance per your company standards. Much better, much cleaner for an ISO view. The key thing is any shape sketch will work as long as it's a closed loop. Objective 3, ordinate dimensioning of a cropped or detailed view. So creating an ordinate dimension or a set of in a detailed view has always been a bit of a head scratcher. And this little trick has been a hit in a lot of my classes. So I want to demonstrate this and show you exactly how to do it. This will be shown step by step in the handout. Okay, so this video may go through kind of quick, but we'll definitely have it step by step within the handout. So check that out. So here we have a view that, a detailed view we have sectioned off, and we got to dimension this. So what you want to do is you want to open up the browser until you get to that part, and then right click and select the include work features and make visible whatever you're using as your origin. Okay, so here's your origin point. Granted, it's off the drawing in this case. Select a view and locate the origin for the ordinate dimension, and then go in and select your lines as you normally do. Continue the command, place your dimensions, finish the command, and now you can come in here and you can adjust your ordinate dimensions so that they're legible, if they're close to each other. And if that origin is on the drawing and you don't want to see it, right click it and deselect the visibility for the point and for the indicator. Pretty nifty. Like I said, this little trick definitely helps. I've seen a lot of people that kind of scratch their head on this.
And first slide is about my home. And I like here when I say the most visible hidden option. I mean, is it visible or is it hidden, right? So my home, it's on the main screen. And I will share my screen right now in Inventor. And this is the home button, okay? You may see it or you may not. And actually I am demonstrating right now like it's live. And under the general tab here in the tools application options, you can actually have my home displayed or not. And it's gonna show like 50 documents, the most recent. They're gonna be listed here, maximum 50. You can change that. Okay, so if you want to see it all the time, just click on it, and I am doing it. So if you ask me like if I like it, yes, I like that. Something else about here, you're gonna see like the new where you can start any type of Inventor file and some other information here on the left about depending like what do you have selected, projects or shortcuts or file details. Okay, and if projects is on here like bluish, then you can see previous projects that you played with or the current one. Okay, and then on the right side you have information details about that. Okay, and for the file details, just to show like if you select a file here on down here, it's going to provide more information, the location and other things that you have set up. Okay, next one. That was my home, and I displayed the project and the file details. Next slide would be about the down panel here. What do you see here? Okay, so down here, you're gonna see like on the recent files. And what I like about that, maybe you know, maybe you don't, you can pin a file. So if you pin, it's going to be always there. If you unpin, it's going to be displayed, or if you have other files, it's going to go to the end. But if it's really important, like for me, and this assembly is very important, I would like to pin it so I will always see there. So that's very important. It's right here. And also you can drag this down and you can see more options depending what would you like to see. Next, Very important here on the left, I don't know if you ever knew about, but you can actually sort files. You can sort by recently opened, that's the default, or you can say by the name or by the location. Okay, I like the default one. And also when was modified, like last day, I want to see the files I worked, last month. These are the files. By default, again, is all dates, the most recent ones. And what type of file you would like to see? Again, assemblies, drawings. If you have a Vault project, you might get more options here. So this is actually very important. Pinned, you can pin it so you see it all the time. And what do you want to see? You want to see active project or even all recent documents. If you switch like projects like I am doing it, you can see here I have like several projects that I work on it almost daily. Maybe I want to do the all recent documents. And next slide. Now you see my PowerPoint. I'm going to talk about this too, like, you can resize. So maybe you notice, maybe you don't. Depending what you would like to see, you can grab that. Of course, you can grab this one too. Okay. Interesting about what this open does. Okay, so if I go to my project, that's my project, and I go to the file details, it's whatever file you have selected. If you hit on open, when you get, let me see, if I make it more here, see, things appear and disappear. So it's very important when you drag this, you're gonna discover other things. So if this is selected here, see open shortcuts. It is selected when you click on a shortcut on your active project, it's actually opening Windows Explorer. See, this is Windows Explorer. If you don't select that, what's going to happen? What's happening now? If I click on the same file, it's going to open within the software. You see, it's Inventor open. So if you want to open from the shortcut, you just go there. You don't need to go open and then find the shortcut. You can see them like right here. So that setting is very important. Okay, next one. Now you see my PowerPoint and we're ready for objective number 5. Okay, for the 5, let's switch. So we did drawings. Now let's do some assembly. So in the tools options, just go to the assembly. So I'm gonna share my Inventor, and in the tools options, in the assembly here, actually I really like a couple settings. Maybe you guys like it, maybe you don't, but I do like them. And the audio notification, I do not like it. This too, display component names after relations and place and ground first component. This is actually pretty good because when you start a new, let's say use the shortcut, start a new assembly and place a part, it will always go, it will match the origin of the part, and I only want one. It will match the origin of the part with the origin of the assembly, which is very, very nice. You don't need to add any constraints, anything. So you can see here in the browser, the YZ on the left, the YZ there, x-axis, and of course, the origin is on the bottom left, and it's not moving. I mean, it's pinned in origin. So that's very important. I suggest to do that. And the other setting would be, let me go back to the assembly. It's place and ground. We saw that display component names after relationships. So if I add another one, and you know how to add something else, like Control C, we all do it everywhere in emails, in documents, right? Control V, just paste another one. And I want to add a constraint. And again, just instead of going there, you can see it's C. So you can always go on the C and get the command. And I want to add a constraint between this and that. It's very easy, very basic constraint. As you see here in the browser, both files actually open and also not listed, sorry. And then under the mate, they're both listed. That's because the setting. And if I go back there, just to see what's happening if you don't have it. If you don't have it, hit apply, it disappears. So you see mate one, but you don't have a clue what's mate one. It's between what components, okay? So I really like that to be selected here, and it's going to display in the inventor browser. Okay. So that was a good trick. I like that. It's very easy, but you have to know about that, like many other things, you know, in life. So let's move to the next one. That's my PowerPoint. We talked about object number 5. Let's go to number 6. So number 6 is about analyzing interference. Maybe you guys use it, maybe you don't. That's, you know, we're talking about inventor. It's 3D, so interference is very important. That's why you move from 2D, right? So in any assembly, you can see if there are components sharing the same volume. So I am sharing my inventor, and I can close that file. I don't need it anymore. And I have an assembly here. So how to see if I have interference in between parts here. And that's actually a real model from my work. I didn't create this just for this session. So it's under inspect and analyze interference. Define set 1. You can actually select all together. Is the easiest way, and hit OK. And that's very interesting. I have 12 interferences. Okay? You can see all 12. If you want to know what's, and you can see them highlighted on the screen. Okay, I can zoom in with my mouse. You can double click on an interference, and it's gonna zoom in, and it selects in the inventor browser here. You see them selected. I double click here, it's gonna zoom in here. But what I like to do is you can actually go to instead of double clicking. So go to, that's from inventor, you know, it's a pretty basic icon, and it's gonna do that. Reset. I don't know if you guys know or not. Sometimes I've seen people just close it and start it again. Reset, bring it back to the kind of to the home, right? So reset is very good. What else? I've got here. You can ignore some of them. If some of them just don't make sense to you, you can do the right click and ignore. And you see, I had 12. Now I have 11. Let's say I don't want that guy, I can ignore that. So now I have only 10. Why would I do that? Because right now I can copy the ones that I'm interested. How do I get them back? Of course, what people do, they just close the dialog box. But we're gonna do the right click and ignore all, and they're all 12. So I want to copy them. You can just copy them, and they're placed in the memory, and then you can just go anywhere and paste them. Or just, I mean, I have my Outlook closed, but it's gonna go like pretty well. It's gonna paste them anywhere. Or just print them. And of course, I'm not gonna print them on the paper. You can go a PDF. So you can save all that information in a PDF. So that's actually pretty nice. And that's about this 6th objective. And please send us questions, ask like right now after the session. Don't hesitate to ask about anything you learn, and I hope you learned something in the session. Even Vault, both of us use Vault, and we never covered, but if you have a question or something and we know, we gladly help you. And again, this was objective number 6 about interference, and that's a good characteristic. It's something very good for the 3D. And this is my last objectives. And here we go. This is the end of session. So again, go ahead, ask questions, and we will help you with anything we know. Okay. Thank you, guys.